Seahorse. Good morning. It is Monday morning, and Vicky jumped the gun again. You suckered me into that. You just started something and suckered me into that. All right, but I was almost ready. Okay, this morning we have no time to waste because I got something I got to go over with you. That the first question. Oh, by the way, first of all, Donald Spicer, thank you so much for the cup/tumbler thing. Love it. So this morning, iced tea and questions, I guess. So thank you so much, Donald. Ooh, ice, sorry. Almost spit all over the place. All right, so got a question the other day, and this was a great question. I always get great questions, but this one was really cool. I want to tell you how I touch up the black area, because we did a video the other day about touch-ups and stuff, and not blending in with a Sharpie and stuff. Spray the ink or primer on top of a small container and squirt a little puddle or two. With an artist brush, apply the paint. You will have a couple minutes before it dries and everything will match. So this reminded me, thank you, that was Steve Wagner. Thank you so much for reminding me. I forgot, it's been so long, this kind of dates me. Back in the old days, before these things were really readily available, we didn't use these for touch-up. I did it a different way. Now these are so convenient that it just makes it easy for touch-up. And to be honest, like I said the other day, I don't have that much touch-up anymore because I carve deep enough and I kind of know where I need to be depth-wise, so I don't get a lot of white spots. However, you may not be in that situation. So what I did, we're in the studio today because I wanted to do a little demo. So I just took, this is a practice board that I had a couple things carved on, and I just sanded the heck out of it so I'd get a bunch of white spots that I need to touch up. So let me show you an alternative way other than the Sharpies. But first, I'll use a Sharpie just in case, you know, some of you are first-time watchers. This is how I touch up white spots mostly, is with the Sharpie. But the issue the other day that someone was asking about is they had a tough time because when they put a finish on it, this stuff, the pen, the black from the Sharpie didn't match the black that he had in the background, whether it was ink or primer. You know, I only use ink. I only use either Marsh ink or, is that out of focus? Oh, you had your hands down there, Miss Camera Woman.
You know what?
All right. So anyway, we got to move on. We got to be quick. Anyway, these are the only two things that I use for my spray black. Anyway,
those are the only tings he used.
Tings, yes.
It's like having a tink in your toe.
Right. Okay. So this is the way I normally touch up my white spots these days. However, and you can see this is almost gone now, and it works, but yeah, see there, I kind of messed up because I'm in a hurry. I normally would take a little bit more time, but let me show you an alternative. Okay, so you have whatever you're using, and this will come into play whether you're using paint, which I don't use, but whether you're using the primer or you're using the ink. I use a paper plate just because we eat off of these about 95% of the time. So we have a lot of them. We stock up on paper plates. So I would just spray some stuff there. Now, you can use a brush like Steve was talking about, a little brush. And that's fine. I've used that, but I hate having to clean that out. And with the primer, I would have to get some paint thinner out and then clean that brush. So what I can use a series of different, almost anything. But let's just say I want to use a Q-tip. Just anything will really work. And you just kind of get that stuff, get it on there, and it'll stay wet for a minute or two. You got a pretty good puddle there. So it'll stay wet for a minute or two. and just, you know, clean up your areas. Another thing that you can use that I've used many, many times, and again, now I use a Sharpie because I don't have that many, you know, you can see that's already kind of starting to dry up, but I got quite a bit done with that. So when that dries up, then I would just spray a little bit more on there. I'm kind of rushing on this, guys, but anyway, that kind of gives you an idea. So don't think you have to use Sharpies all the time. Use whatever you're, and this would go in even if you're using paint, whatever you're using, just use that same stuff. Another way I would do it, I used to do this all the time, is just take a paper towel. Can you get that, babe?
Yeah, you should have let me know exactly how you were going to do it so I could follow you.
Well, I thought I did. You have to be you got to be careful. And if you get over the top onto the part that you don't want black, then you might have to resand a little bit. But you can see, and again, I could you know, get much finer point on that. Or you can use the brush like Steve was talking about, that's fine. Anything, I used to use toothpicks, anything that you can get down to a fairly fine point. Eventually, guys, you won't have these high spots like this because you'll be carving deep enough that you'll, you know, once you get used to it, you just won't have very many high spots. But if you're still in the mode where you do have a lot of high spots, this is something that you can guarantee, even if, let's say, for instance, even if I had a big chunk out of there. This is probably all dry by now. Even if I had a big chunk out of there, I could just dab it in there. Yeah, that's almost dry. All right, last one. And you could dab it in there and make it work. I need another paper towel. We're gonna go long on this video. I apologize, guys. But I think you're kind of getting the point. You can just use whatever you want, and you never have to worry about whether it's going to blend in or not because it's the same thing. All right, that's that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I did any of you, anyway, if you have any questions on that, let me know, just like always. But the brush works too. So any of you that follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, you know that I just got a great shout out from Brian over at GarageWoodworks, and I made a sign for him, and I'm going to post a video of that sign before I shipped it off. It's going to be tagged on the end of this video, so you'll see it just in a minute as it comes up. But it's about 2.5 minutes long, so I don't want this video to go real long. I've already gone way too long. And, oh, sign covers of the day. There they are, right there. All right, sign covers of the day. So this one's really cool. Tom Ashmore. And I've talked about him before, and I've showed his stuff before. And this is actually one of his first signs.
Very nice.
Really came out nice. Now let me show you his fancy shop. This is the cool part. This is his shop. So if you guys think you need a shop, or even a shed in order to do this stuff. I know a lot of you guys are doing it in carports, any place that you can get electricity and set up and carve. Don't think you got to have a fancy shop or even you know, an enclosed area. So anyway, Tom, congratulations, great job on that. He's the one that does that Canes of Loyalty. Really cool. I've talked about it before. Morgan Stoltz over in Sweden, my Swedish friend.
Oh, cute.
Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
We got a little
what?
Or put on there, a 3D type thing, or is that carved and painted?
I don't know. You know, I think that is an applique over the top, that little bobber. That's what that is a bobber, I believe.
That's
yeah.
cute.
Yeah, great job, Morgan. as always, great sign carver, been watching us for years. Anyway, that is it. So remember, LTS is coming up on this Saturday, the 29th, 9 a.m. Arizona time. We'll be broadcasting live, so get your questions ready. If you have questions ahead of time, send them in to Vic or send them to me. Our emails are in the description below.
Ladies, send me your...
Yeah, lady sign carvers, keep sending those your signs to Vicky. She wants to make a group of, she's got some already, but we need more. Yeah. So lady sign carvers, even if you've already sent pictures, send some more. That is about it. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll be talking about the LTS more, and we'll have another coffee and questions on Wednesday. And here comes that video on Garage Woodworks. Thanks again, Brian. And I'm going to put a link to Brian's YouTube channel down in the bottom. Does some really, really cool stuff. Just did one on a drill press hold down fixture for his drill press. It's really cool, very cool. Anyway, check him out. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday, and have a great week, and make some sawdust. Thanks again, Donald Spicer. See you next time. Bye. Hi guys. Hey, I want to do a quick video. I've got another collaboration that I just finished up for Brian over at GarageWoodworks. So this is his logo that he sent me. So I kind of was trying to figure this out for a little while, what I was going to do on it, but this is what I came up with. And it's different than what I've done before. I used another one of those rounds, and this is how it came out. So this is, and I want to kind of explain this. Number one, in the process of making this, I changed the design in my head probably 10 times, but this is what I finally ended up with. So, were you able to zoom in on that pretty good, babe? You know, I think I'm going to actually stand up here, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit. So, first of all, I wanted a contrast between the outside ring and the inside, and I wanted to try and do a different background than what I've done in the past. Originally, I was going to make the letters inset and do something on the anyway. Again, that was design changed midway through. So here's what I did. Was I put a center point, was right about here, and then I used a straight edge, and I kind of drew my lines to give me you know, a reference point for doing kind of a, I don't even know,
starburst kind of,
I guess, you know, for lack of a better term, a starburst kind of effect. These little letters were a real bear. But I carved all the outset stuff with my profile bit. My profile bit actually got small enough down to do, these are about a 1/2 inch, some of these smaller ones, which is pretty tiny. This outside edge is a stain, and I used the Minwax Sedona Red. And evidently I got a little enthusiastic when I was closing the can back up, a little dented there. So that's what this stain is. Now when you're putting stain on something that's got a black edge, you've got to be really careful, because I found that the ink will bleed into the, it doesn't bleed, but the stain kind of causes the ink to come off, and it will rub that, so you have to kind of go from the inside out. I'll probably do a demo on something like this later on, using stain with a black edge. But here's the interesting thing, the color on the letters. Originally what I wanted to do is just use a brown Sharpie or a brown felt pen, and make these brown. Well, that's what I used, but and when I was doing it, I thought, man, I'm not sure I'm gonna like this. I might have to trash the whole thing. This is what I used, and it looks just brown, but because of the way going on this type of material and the way it kind of overlapped and stuff, I thought, no, I don't like it. But the more I looked at it, and after talking to Vic, it kind of gives almost an old barnwood antique-ish distressed kind of look to the letters. And the more I looked at it, the more I kind of liked it. So it was one of those unintentional things, but that's the way it kind of came out. And then this is just the black one, the same pen, but the black one. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with this. It's different than what I've done before. All there is on the background...
Back just a little bit square.
Oh, okay. All there is on the background literally is just clear. I use the Krylon Crystal Clear, and I've got maybe 7 or 8 coats. I want to put a couple more coats, but I'm got to get it shipped out tomorrow. But anyway, guys, I wanted to share that with you. It's one of those 15-inch rounds from Lowe's, and this is what the material looks like on the backside. But it was definitely an experience, and I'm happy with the way it came out. Hope you guys like it. That is it. I just wanted to share that, and hope you guys are having a great weekend. We will see you on the next video. Have a great one. Bye-bye.